I want people to hire me for amplified growth. And I want, Beth's audience specifically to be the ones.
So great. Such a workaround of not having to produce a podcast.
I know, right? I get to reach her audience. I don't have to do all the work.
And if you can, and even better, if you can record it too, you could try those, see if those work.
Mm-hmm.
And like what we talked with Beth, like have something in there for them to go to, you get a free gift or something. If you come to this thing, to start getting their email addresses, it's kind of a cool idea. But then they say the host-read ones are the ones that are that do the best, because you're getting that influencer is
Mm-hmm.
talking about it, just like you buy Tim Ferriss's MeUndies, it's that kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swear. And you guys, MeUndies, it's underwear, and you can subscribe to this underwear. And I almost got a membership for it. I almost got a membership. Listen, Tim Ferriss is a man. Let's talk about that. Okay. They have them for men and women, but Tim Ferriss is a man. Why is he influencing me on what kind of underwear I want to buy? But he talks about MeUndies, and he's like, they're so fashionable. They even have some for the ladies, la, 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 la. And he goes on and on about the fabric and stuff. And I'm like, okay. He says he likes it. I trust him what he says. And I was this close to getting a membership to underwear because of him.
And they call it the Tim Ferriss bump. Is what it is. Yeah. His show is so popular, though. That's,
I know.
Kind of like one of those getting on the, Tonight Show or something, basically.
Yeah. And Jed just posted something, says, here's a book similar to Best Ideas, Stories from the Social Side. Love it. This might be ideas for, a way that you can put your book out or put it together. I don't know. Just some suggestions. Very nice. So I'm going to invite Amalia on. And you guys, this is another rock star who is a viewer. I'm so glad that she's on this week. She's also a friend. She is an association executive who, in her own right, has been responsible for a lot of great things, winning awards. What was the one that you just won most recently? She wins a lot of awards. So
I don't know about all that. Association Trends, Young and Aspiring.
Yes, young and aspiring. Yes. So thanks for joining us. Sure. So what was your question? Why don't you go ahead and ask?
Yeah. So I work with a B2B association, specifically manufacturing companies are our members. And I was recently running a meeting for our marketing members. So they're all CMOs of US-based manufacturing firms or companies. And there was a really interesting discussion during our sessions around storytelling, and a feeling from them that storytelling, hey, Lauren, is dead or dying, and that it's kind of transforming into something else. So that's part one. I'm curious, what do you guys think? Is storytelling dead or dying as a marketing technique or content technique? And then I have a follow-up question for what they think might be replacing it.
Why do they say
and I
dying?
wonder too, like, could that potentially apply to other kinds of marketing, but not so much to podcasts because of the format?
Why do they say it's dying? Just because people's attention spans are too short?
Did I stump you guys?
No, you didn't. You didn't. I'm actually
look at your face.
I'm just like wondering how somebody gets to the place. It's almost like when people said blogs are dead or podcasts are dead or God is dead. Everything is dead. And it's like, and so I'm just wondering how somebody gets there. We are biologically set up. We are wired to respond to stories. We are wired to respond to emotion. So
what did they say? Why did they say it was dying?
Yeah.
So personally, I took a class at Georgetown last summer. They have a nonprofit executive management session. It's a great course. It's a certificate program, and I highly recommend if anyone's considering like additional education. It's an amazing program. And one of the sessions that was part of that, it was like I did the intense 8 days, all in, all day experience. There's another way to do it too, over weekends. But anyway, one of the speakers we had was specifically this guy who talked about storytelling, and they've set up an institute over at Georgetown about storytelling. And, he made some very compelling argument. Sure, Eric, I'll put it up in a minute, around the value of storytelling, especially for nonprofits. and associations as a way to draw people in and get them to care about your cause, and to want to support you, whether that's through a membership or through a donation or something else. He had a really interesting story because he had actually worked with Jane Goodall for many years, developing stories to help her, with her foundation and to raise money through that. So, and there's, some very powerful stuff there. But, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Beth had this great comment and I completely agree. She said, I think they say anything is dying when it starts becoming a trendy conference session topic. And I'm like, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much true.
And you should double down on it.
It's totally true. But, along that too, you see it in some B2C stuff too, and virtual reality as a way to pull in, storytelling as well. Obviously, it's probably not going to happen with a podcast, but, like you look at Tom's, they've set up virtual reality in some of their stores so that people can go and experience like what happens when the, pairs of shoes that gets donated for the pair they buy, what that experience is like, to kind of put them in it. Because you're right, people totally respond to storytelling. So the follow-up is kind of, do we think that influencers are a potential replacement to storytelling? Or, are they just like another new thing? Because we talked a little bit about influencers and podcasters as an example of influencers. So I'm wondering about, that too. Bring it back to podcast piece.
Yeah. I don't think that influencers are, I don't think that they replace storytelling. I think that people always listen to certain people in an industry, thought leaders. That's why I'm interviewing them on here, is because we go to them because they're the experts, or the ones who have the experience. They're telling us stories, that we respond to and that we then are able to apply. And so I don't think they're a replacement. I think that instead they are the ones who bring the best stories, hopefully, right?
I
share the one.
I have a friend that
I think so.
An architectural.
Yeah, Beth, you're right. There's always been influencers. It's only new that it's a job title. Yeah, isn't that interesting? These things that have turned into jobs.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just going to say that there's storytelling along with podcasting. It's interesting because 99% Invisible is a show that's very, very popular. It's by this guy named Roman Mars, and the whole show is put on by an architectural company who just wanted to do a show about design. And it has nothing to do necessarily with buildings all the time. Sometimes it does, but it's just about design.
Huh. Okay. Oh, Amalia says she can't hear you. Hey, Amalia.
Sorry if I accidentally talked over you.
That's okay.
No. I don't know. I just noticed my microphone seems to be going out. I don't know why.
I don't know. I hear you okay, but let me go ahead and kick you off, Amalia. Thank you for jumping on. Yes. Bye. It was so much fun to have so many great people join us on the chat today. And Mike, are you there?
Yep.
Okay. So we're rounding up kind of our talk for today before we sign out. But I wanted to ask you a little bit more about, if people want to get more information, where can they find you? And then also, what are you doing with podcasting lately? Do you have any plans for anything new? I know that you're always testing and trying new things out. So why don't you tell us how we can connect with you? And also, like, if there's are there any new podcasts in the wings that you're getting ready to start up?
So I have podcastingforevents.com, which is what we're producing podcasts. I'm going to bring back up the meetings podcast, I think, and just kind of focus it on podcasting for meetings.
Yeah.
Alone. I have that. And then, of course, I'm doing a lot of work with Knit for the and AdKnit. If you want to, that's a great place you can go and buy ads if you want to go buy ads, there's no minimum to buy ads. You can go in there. And then, of course, I have the Oakland Podcasters, which is, we have all the local, there's a lot of podcasting going on out here in Oakland. It's like one of the hubs. So if you ever get out here, please come and join us. And personally, Meetings podcast, I think I'm going to start back up again very soon. So that's it.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And you guys, any of these links, I'm going to try to make sure that these end up in the show notes on the podcast. But thank you so much for participating. This is really a lot of fun. And I think I'm very thankful for the people, Beth, Amalia, who were willing to jump on. I'm missing somebody. Who else jumped on? Oh, Lauren, who jumped on and offered their input and their questions as well. So thank you guys for being brave and jumping on today. That's all our time. For all of you, thank you for joining us. Oh, I see you moving, Mike. Thank you for joining us today on Association Chat. As a reminder, you can always catch each week's live episode as an audio podcast on Fridays on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. Next week's live chat is talking about the webinar revolution. We're going to be bringing on 4 experts who are experts in digital and adult learning to talk about how to take webinars from zero to hero. And this is not just some sort of mushy-gushy, they say they're experts, but they're not. We have 2 association executives who deal very specifically with this. And then we have 2 people who work in the learning domain and the learning industry. And their focus is specifically on adult learning and looking at digital education. So this is going to be really, really cool. You're going to want to check this out. Until next time, everyone, keep asking questions to learn every day. As Joseph Campbell once said, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Ooh. Yes, yes. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you for participating. Bye, guys.
Thank you, KiKi.
Bye. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Association Chat with your host, KiKi L'Italien. We'll catch you next time.